Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News. This bulletin is coming to you live from the Joy 99.7 FM studios, Kokomlemle in Accra. Our digital address GA0993341. Also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi. Affiliates across the country, including Kekeli FM in Ho, Radio Max in Takrade, and Pad FM in Dalmango. It's on ABN Radio in London and around the world at myjoyonline.com. The news is brought to you by UMB Bank, UMB Speed Up, Digibank, Let's Go, SuperSem, Build Your Dream, and Telesol 4G, just a touch. In this edition, we'll hear from one of the architects of June 4 uprising as he cautions government to tread cautiously in investigating attempted coup plot involving military officers.
This particular incident has a tendency of inflaming soldiers and professionals. It makes, even though retired, makes also us very concerned and angry.
More from Brachijana's government hints charges preferred against the 3 suspected attempted coup plotters could change to treason.
And we do a review, a critical review, and come to a conclusive determination that the conduct of the accused persons amounted to an attempt to subvert the security of the state or overthrow the government. Then the charges will change. It will change to treason. But that will only be upon receipt of.
Now, families of missing Takrade girls accuse police administration of failing to grant their request to be handed bones, the police say, are remains of their girls.
The family wanted to use their naked eyes to see the bone that they are talking about. And as it stands now, none of the family member has been able to cite that kind of bones that they are talking about.
We'll hear from them as they join scores of Takrade residents to demonstrate demanding resignation of CID boss, among others. Record law school entrance exam failure prompts calls for review of exam and assessment structure for pursuing law.
Why is it that with law, everybody has to come to Makola? You don't need a Ghana law school. You need General Legal Counsel as a regulatory body. You run a whole professional course and write the exam. Even in the United States, that's how they do it.
We have details and hear from some individuals speaking up against what they describe as archaic methods of selecting students into the law school.
I've written the exam before. I've actually written 2 times. Yeah, and I have a colleague who has written 6 times.
6 times?
Yes, and this was a first-class student.
I'm calling on all those students who went to spend money to do their first degrees to demonstrate.
We have sports.
GFA Executive Council aspirant Randiabe insists it is important for all presidential aspirants to come out with their manifestos ahead of the October 25 GFA elections.
And later on day 4 of the Joy Clean Ghana campaign, we'll tell you how sanitation inspectors discovered human excreta left in the opening in a house at North Kaneshi. Occupants have 48 hours to fix the problem.
Allow you?
Yes.
Where you see this one?
I'm not the one who did it.
Who did it?
It's my brother.
Raw excreta is being disposed into the main drain. This kind of person will give you a stray summons.
That's all coming up here on the Midday News with me, Emefa Apau. Thanks for staying with us. Let's settle for the details now. And one of the architects of the June 4 uprising has cautioned government to tread cautiously in investigating the attempted coup plot involving military officers. 3 people, including a medical doctor, are in the custody of BNI, whilst a 4th is said to be on the run. Some military personnel are also said to be interrogated for their role in the attempt. Government, in a statement released on Monday, said the suspects who were found with varied ammunition were targeting the presidency to destabilize the country. We'll hear from Deputy Attorney General, but first listen to retired military officer Boachijan cautioning government as it investigates the matter. He spoke to Adom FM.
This particular incident has a tendency of inflaming soldiers and professionals. It makes, even though retired, makes also us very concerned and angry. And some of us have our children and cousins and nephews still in the service. So you are creating a coup psychosis as a way of solving your problem, and you are replacing it with another set of problems, which is not advisable at all. Because that's why I always insist that you shouldn't describe me as a security expert. A security expert, yeah, you can be a professor of security without holding a gun. But there's a difference. According to this man, according to this man, according to this man, makes you only an expert, but not make you a practitioner. When they are giving information of that nature to the public, they should see it. They are not under pressure. If you have called the people, you have called them. You take them to court, and the information will come from the court and not from the government. Because the way I package information, suggest to say they are not serious. If we all agree that we should elect our leaders through the ballot box, but not through the bullets, then we should not entertain any suggestions of coup making in this country, especially if it's designed to overthrow a civilian, unarmed civilian administration like this one. It's not a fair contest. We should sift the information carefully and avoid doing propaganda with it. Let the truth come out and know where the truth lies, and the appropriate punishments. There should be no behind-the-scenes political control of the trial. Okay. I would advise that, because if they do, it can backfire.
Osahene Boachijan is a retired military officer. He's also one of the architects of the June 4 uprising. Now, speaking on the Super Morning Show, however, Deputy Attorney General Joseph Diendiok Pemka said the charges could change to treason after his office has reviewed the full docket which the security agencies will present to them.
If we come to a determination as an Attorney General after they have submitted to us a full duplicate docket from the police, and we do a review, a critical review, and come to a conclusive determination that the conduct of the accused persons, based on available facts and based on available evidence, amounted to an attempt to subvert the security of the state or overthrow the government, then the charges will change. It will change to treason. But that will only be upon receipt of the completed docket and a careful review and scrutiny of same. If we make that determination, the charges will change. So the charges you found yesterday, remember that by our constitution, you cannot hold an accused person beyond 48 hours without putting him before court. You are unable to conclude all investigations and build a docket within 48 hours. So then the police at that stage rightfully will, based on available evidence to them at the point that they want to put you in court, prefer charges that they find maintainable in court.
He, however, reminds Ghanaians that the charges the trio were slapped with are serious and could result in a life sentence.
The charge of possession of ammunition without lawful authority is a third-degree felony. And if you are convicted on it, you can be sentenced to life in prison if you are found guilty of that offense. Mm-hmm. So it's a very serious offense indeed. And people may have expected to have seen certain charges they haven't seen. But equally as serious are the charges that have been preferred against the accused persons. If those charges are proved in any competent court, at the end of it, I can tell you that the maximum sentence for charges under Section 192 of the Criminal Offences Act is life in prison, because that's a first-degree felony.
You heard there Joseph Diendiok Pemka. He's the Deputy Attorney General. Voices of residents of Takoradi who hit the streets today to protest the failure by the security agencies to find the 4 missing Takoradi girls. We'll bring you an update of that demonstration, but first, the families of the 4 girls have accused the police administration of failing to grant their request to be handed bones the police say are remains of their girls. According to the families, 2 weeks after the police's announcement that the DNA test proved the human remains were that of the girls, they are yet to receive the official report or the bones they requested to conduct their independent test. A member of Ruth Love Kweson's family, Michael Kweson, has been speaking to Joy News on the sidelines of a demonstration by residents demanding the resignation of CID boss Mami Tiwa Adodankwa and Interior Minister Ambrose Derry, among others.
We are asking Madam Tiwa to step down. We are asking the Brian Champon to step down. Then Interior Minister must step down. That is why we are organizing this demonstration. And this is just the beginning. We will keep on by keeping on. Madam Tiwa's words. We are going to do it till we find our lovely sisters. We are not going to stop. This is our only one country that we have. And we are demanding to be safe in our own country.
You were demanding for the bones earlier on.
No, we were asking the police the official reports. There is difference between demanding for bones and then reports. Initial stage, we were asking that the family wanted to use their naked eyes to see the bone that they are talking about. And as it stands now, none of the family member has been able to cite that kind of bones that they are talking about.
You have Michael Kwesing is a member of Ruth Love Kwesing's family. Let's go on the line now and speak to correspondent Ina Thalia Kwanza for the latest on the demonstration. Ina, that's not the first time the residents have expressed their displeasure about the police's handling of the matter. But what other reasons are they given for this increasing calls for the resignation of CID boss, amongst others?
Yeah, so for the residents, they feel that the CID boss had given the family an assurance that the girls were alive. They also say the National Security Minister, Brian Champo, has emphatically said that the girls are in the northern Nigeria. So for them here in Sekondi Takoradi, they know that these officials know that the girls are in northern Nigeria. They also said that if they feel that the ransom the kidnappers are demanding, they cannot stay as a government. They should tell the whole of Ghana, and they are sure even residents of Sekondi Takoradi can mobilize enough money to get the girls back. They do not accept the DNA test. They do not want bones, but they want human beings. They have petitioned the Western Regional Minister, but when they went to the regional administration, he was not there, so it was received on his behalf.
And I mean, if you listen to the story from that of the family, you get to see, hear so much inconsistencies from what they are telling us. And I mean, the resident will not take it that the bones really do belong to the girls. What they are saying is they want the girls back alive. And if, of course, it is that the bones belongs to the girls, then we are demanding the CID boss to step down.
That is what Tiwa Adodankwa called one of the affected families. Their mother and told her that the kidnappers are demanding for a ransom, which is very huge. So we are just doing send a signal to the president that if he is sure that he is in charge, if he is sure that he is the one in charge, we should, as a matter of urgency, make sure that CID Tiwa Adodankwa should step down.
Now, you talked about a petition to the Western Regional Minister. Since then, the petitioners haven't heard anything?
No, they had sent, some of them had marched to the regional office in Sekondi, and some of them were buzzed. But since then, they've not heard anything. But the one who received it said he would forward it to the regional minister when he gets back to the office.
Now, still on the DNA test outcome issues, the family has been telling you more. What exactly do they want at this point?
At this point, they are saying the family, together with residents of Sekondi Takoradi, said they do not accept the DNA test. They do not know, they did not even see the bones. They cannot verify if that DNA test is authenticated. And if they really want to convince them, first they are demanding for a hard copy of the results. And then they would also go their own way to have a separate DNA test done without the police being involved.
And based on the reports that they had from the skeleton that they are claiming, that was the reason why Obeye that kind of press conference, Are
you still going to do your independent DNA test?
If the police are claiming or saying that truly the bones is for the cater, we are going to pursue it to make sure that in all costs justice has been prevailed.
You have Michael Kwesing is a member of Ruth Love Kwesing's family there, making some demands on the security agencies. Now let's head back to Accra, because this year's mass law school entrance exam failure has prompted calls for review of the selection and assessment structure for pursuing law. More than 1,000 prospective students seeking entry into the Ghana School of Law are reported to have failed this year's entrance exam. Of the over 1,820 students who sat the exam, only 128 passed. This has generated a groundswell of agitation over the method of selection into the law school. Listen to some callers into the Super Morning Show today.
I've written the exam before.
Oh, okay.
I've actually written 2 times. Yeah, and I have a colleague who has written 6 times.
6 times?
Yes.
I mean...
And this was a first-class student. Now, this year you are talking about 128 students passing out of 1820. You know why? They expected that a lot of people will be repeating. So if a lot of people repeat, this 128 will meet them to make up the number to about 400, 500. And that's what's happening. Then, look, when I failed the first time, I went to Kenya School of Law. In their brochure, they have the courses, they have the pass mark, they have what you are expected, they have where you have complaints, etc., etc. Professor Lumumba, he operates an open door policy. You don't even need to knock. You just walk in. And this is my issue. People who are talking today, if they should go and write that exam that we are talking about, my brother, they won't get one. And these are the very people who are administering. Look, if you have somebody who is 80 years, 70 years, thinking for a generation of 23, this is the sort of thing you are going to have.
They are creating a class system. You know, the so-called affluent and influential want to take whatever belongs to us. And I think we have to fight that. Because if you do not have any links, you don't have any connections, you are not going to be passed. Let's scrutinize that. I don't need to be a lawyer. I don't need to go and write the exam to see what is going on. And I am calling on all those students who went to spend money to do their first degrees. I'm calling on them to demonstrate.
I don't understand. How can 1,800 people go and write an exam and only 100 people or 120 people will pass that exam? What kind of exams is that? Does it mean that those people didn't learn or they were not taught? You see how this our education is going on in Ghana. If care is not taken, there will be a time you complete school in Ghana and you see you have to start it all over again elsewhere.
I would want to say that our elders or our people who are in charge of institutions should begin to think a little bit far outside the box. What does it take for us to have a lot of lawyers in this country and start exporting them? How much will that cost us? Dreams and things and a lot of aspirations of these people have been crushed. Do you know the repercussions of the ripple effects of these people in the society?
Some callers into the Super Morning Show today. Now, ranking member on the Constitution and Legal Affairs Committee of Parliament, Yunus Hussaini, says it is time to overhaul what he describes as a colonial way of conducting entrance exams to catch up with contemporary times. He spoke to Mama Vio Usuabuaji on the AM show on Malta TV.
It demonstrates the fact that the arrangement that we have presently cannot deal with the desire of people to enter law school and train as lawyers. I mean, we have to look at other alternatives. I mean, and in Ghana, I always say that in Ghana, there are two systems that we can learn from.
But didn't you have the opportunity when you had to deal with the law recently in Parliament?
No, we didn't have.
Or you couldn't have?
The Attorney General came and told us that, well, they needed to pass this regulation to be able to conduct exam. And so they will bring a comprehensive legislation to deal with this issue. They have not.
When?
They've not. I've always thought that Ghana, we have systems that have addressed issues like this. Why is it that with law, everybody has to come to Makola? What I'm saying is that you don't need a Ghana law school, okay? You need General Legal Counsel as a regulatory body. If you want to go the way that accountants go, everybody teaches the course. You maintain standards through regulation.
So you run your own professional course?
We run our own professional course and write the exam. Even in the United States, in the United Kingdom, that's how they do it.
Having engaged the legal counsel on the committee level in Parliament, do you feel strongly that this leadership...
They are still steeped in colonial mentality. It's just like when Nkrumah was going to establish the Ghana Law School. Those who are trained in Britain thought that Nkrumah was wasting his time and that lawyers will not emerge from the Ghana Law School of the same caliber and standards like those who train in Britain. But over time, the Ghana Law School has proven its worth. The same thing if you use new strategies to address this backlog. Over time, the market will sort out everybody.
Yunus Hussaini is ranking member on the Constitutional and Legal Affairs Committee of Parliament. Now, Deputy Attorney General Joseph Dindiok Pemka admits the situation adversely affects efforts to ensure that there are more lawyers to man the country's legal institutions. He agrees some changes are required, but maintains it could take time.
In discussing this, we should do it without emotions, and we should have a sober reflection and look at what are the alternatives. Let's debate the issues and continue to debate it from here. But we shall definitely get over it as time goes on. That's what I would say to Ghanaians. And that we should just be patient with one another as we struggle to build a nation. Because once upon a time, it wasn't like that. We've gotten this far because of the issue of numbers, which is so fundamental in every democracy. As we grow, these things will come up. But I believe that, God willing, 10 years from now, this will not be a topic anymore because measures will be put in place after a holistic debate has been made and decisions taken, far-reaching indeed, that will ensure that that land we are struggling to get to, we all get there. That's what I was saying.
You heard the Deputy Attorney General Joseph Diendiok Pemka. We'll take a quick break here on the midday news. But first, our top story so far, government hints charges preferred against the 3 suspected attempted coup plotters could change to treason. And we heard from one of the architects of June 4 uprising as he cautions government in investigating attempted coup plot involving military officers. And still to come on day 4 of the Joy Clean Ghana campaign, we'll tell you how sanitation inspectors discovered human excreta left in the open in a house at North Kaneshi. Occupants had 48 hours to fix the problem.
Allow you? Yes. Where you see this one? I'm not the one who did it. Who did it? It's my brother.
Raw excreta is being disposed into the main drain. This kind of person will give you a stray summons.
My name is Kwame Sefakai, and most of you know me as a media personality, but I am also a family man. The UMB mobile banking app, UMB Speed App, saves me so much time by letting me do almost all of my banking transactions on my phone. The cardless withdrawal feature allows me to withdraw cash from any UMB ATM without an ATM card. I can also pay bills, transfer money, request for a loan, invest money, and so much more. So now, I can spend less time at the bank and more time with the ones I love. Bank anywhere and anytime with a UMB mobile banking app, UMB Speed App, and get the time to do what you love most. Download the UMB Speed App from your Android, iOS, or Windows phone today. Call 0302-633-988 for more information. UMB Speed App, Digibank, let's go!
Kremasa, Ghana, so we correct Mason pa. A Yamikosi super. Me a super Mason and Kasa. Because our job no and better. They won't see how beautiful and high quality your work is. That be what them they use believe you. That be why me too. It be only super cement at the use. Cement mu cement. Cement papa. Integrate me cries in from because super. Because me the super cement and DVD.
Supercem Cement is designed to ensure that your buildings stand strong for generations. Build with Supercem Cement. Build your dream. Build.
This is the midday news here on Joy 99.7 FM. Let's do sports now. Benedict, what's
yes, semi-final. Heart of Lions General Manager Randy Abbey has been speaking about the importance of having all the GFA presidential aspirants present a manifesto ahead of the elections next month. Now, after sitting through Keto Kuku's presentation yesterday, Randy, who is going for the Executive Council position, thinks coming out with policies is crucial for all the aspirants.
I think it's important. It's important. We need to know what they stand for, what their vision is for the game, and then we should be in a position to also analyze, what they intend doing. It's one thing putting things together. It's another thing putting things that are achievable or attainable together. And so now we have a job, they presented it to us, we have a job to scrutinize it. First of all, to establish whether this is what will change the face of Ghana football and whether it is attainable within the period. And whether the person who is presenting it himself has the capacity, the competence and the integrity to lead the process.
The little that you listened to today, what do you make of it?
Good documents. I've just had a casual look at it. We would have time to properly analyze it, and so it's the beginning of a good step.
So that's Randy Abbey there. He's going for the Executive Council position. Well, the Ghana Football Association Normalization Committee this morning released a statement on the vetting process, and according to them, will begin tomorrow. That sitting is going to start tomorrow, and they talked about as of last Friday, the nominations, 52 people filed to contest for various positions, and I'm quickly going to go through the breakdown. So for the GFA presidency, 7 aspirants, Premier League representatives, that's on the Executive Council. We have 7 aspirants, and they are contesting for 5 positions, and for Division 1 League representatives on the Executive Council, we have 9 aspirants, and they are contesting for 3 positions. The RFA is 10 positions there, and they also talked about out of the 52 people who filed their nominations, a number of them contesting for various positions failed initial screening by the elections committee following their inability to satisfy all requirements, and they've given them up till tomorrow, God willing, 4 p.m. to satisfy those requirements.
From sports, let's talk about sanitation. Thank you very much, Benedict. Because inspectors earlier today discovered human excreta left in the open at a house at North Kaneshie here in Accra. Occupants of the house have been given 48 hours to fix the problem. It comes as the Joy Clean Ghana campaign enters day 4. The team also noticed the toilet in the house had been connected to a drain. A popular beer bar was also found selling adulterated drink without the approval of the Standards Authority. Here are excerpts of the interactions between sanitation inspectors and occupants of the home.
Allow you? Yes. Where you see this one?
I see. I'm not the one who did it.
Who did it?
It's my brother.
Where's he?
He has gone out.
And since your brother did it, did you tell him that this thing that he has done is wrong? Because you are the head of the house.
Listen, I told him. He didn't listen to me. For him, when you tell him something, he don't mind.
So how do you dispose of yours?
When it's full, we call car to come and
take it. But this person connected his own ear. You are the landlord, so we are going to take you on.
It's not for the whole house.
But whether it's for the whole house or not for the whole house, the whole thing is coming from within the house. And you are the head of the house. So you are the one we are holding responsible for this.
I didn't do it. I didn't sit there. Don't let me show you my toilet.
The other side is connected to the drain.
All of them. It means that's what they have done all over.
Raw excreta is being disposed, channeled through the house into the main drain, which is likely to lead to an outbreak of disease as we are in the rainy season. And we know this is the season cholera is likely to appear. Excreta is not even treated, just raw. It is an eyesore.
So this kind of person will be served with letters?
Yes, this kind of person, it is not something we should give a notice for the person to go and come. We can give you a straight summons to appear in court to explain why legal action should not be taken against you for channeling your raw excreta from your toilet facility through the main drain.
Now, Nancy Emefa-Dwadosi is with the Joy Clean Ghana campaign team on day 4 of that exercise. Nancy, I've always thought that North Kaneshie is a generally clean environment. Which particular areas did you go in North Kaneshie?
So this is the area that is actually popularly referred to as the New Fadama or the North Kaneshie last stop. So that's where exactly the team is located at the moment.
Now, what have the residents and owners of the eatery been saying in their defense? You talked about a beer bar also in that. What have they been saying?
So, MSR, when we entered this bar, they noticed that some of the alcoholic beverages that were there had 10 different colors. So they had colors like yellow, wine, and all of that. And so they were questioned. And all of them will come out to tell you that they don't own the bar, and so they cannot give explanation except to say that the color has changed because of certain substances that have been included in the various drinks. In fact, almost all the houses we went to, it's as if they are all, running away from responsibility. They keep telling you that we are not the owners of this house or we're just caretakers, and so they cannot directly respond to some of the allegations. But what has happened is that for all these houses that claim that they are not the landlords or they don't own the shops, they have all been given summons to appear at the AMA and also be taken to court to answer questions as to why they're keeping the environment clean.
But how would you describe day 4 generally of the Joy Clean Ghana campaign?
It's been successful. In fact, I can say that one of the biggest things that we met here was a pipeline that we understand has been concreted in a certain gutter. With this particular pipeline, we understand is from a public toilet coming all the way from Abeka to this place. According to the resident, they have reported the matter several times to the assembly, but nothing has been done. But Joseph Asitanga, who is the inspector on the ground, has said that they were going to move to Abeka to make sure that the owners of the public toilets come and answer questions as to why they have connected the toilets to the drains here at New Fadama.
You heard that, my colleague Nancy Emefa-Dwadosi. Now, family planning is what they called it, and the campaign was massive many years ago. But for women in the Volta region village of Mango Tideke, there are children and pregnant mothers everywhere. Now, that community has been gifted. Now that the community has been gifted a birthing center, following a Joy News documentary, Joy News' giftee Andrew Appiah has been speaking to them about family planning as she profiles 4 young women, 3 of them teenage mothers, and all of them school dropouts.
Happy Go was only 19 years old when I first met her. She had 1 child then. Today, I am meeting her again. She has had 1 more and has a 3rd baby on the way.
When I deliver this one, I'll take a break, but it's left with 1 more.
At the time, Happy had freshly dropped out of school and occasionally she cooked for the man who made her pregnant. Now, she lives with him. With 3 children at 25 years, Happy says there is 1 more to go. She is a farmer now, but she relishes the idea of going back to school.
After delivery, if someone offers to help, I will learn a trade.
Like in many villages, teenage pregnancy is very common here. As a matter of fact, the teenagers live with their husbands.
My name is Agbasa Jennifer.
Jennifer Agbasa's husband tells me his mother-in-law says his wife is 19. Jennifer seems a bit younger, but she tells me she has been married for 2 years. She's carrying her first child. Jennifer dropped out of school at class 3.
We were evicted from where we lived. I had no option but to sleep in town.
I
want to go back to school.
Jennifer's story does not really add up, but she also says she'd like to go back to the classroom, even if she has to start at class 4. Daniel Ajaho, her husband, will not allow that.
She will not go. If she goes to school, she will leave, so she will be a seamstress.
Gift Yandro up here with tales from Mango Tideke. And guess who has social media? And Araba Kunsin joins me in studio. And massive failures from the law school exams.
It's dominating discussions on Facebook particularly. And Ambassador George Safo Jumo writes, we don't need to produce more lawyers like the ICAG has overproduced more chartered accountants. I think the law profession is a noble one and not everyone should practice. Gilbert Sebe Yabua writes, any serious society will investigate 7% pass rate anywhere in the world. And don't think Ghana has more lawyers than the US, yet there's no clandestine attempt there to limit the numbers. And Kwikwaza, the popular Kwikwaza writes, it makes sense to you that we have more ministers than the number of students allowed to study for the bar exam. God bless the homeland.
And that's social media with Araba Kimson. That's it for the midday news here on Joy 99.7 FM. Later on, we have masterclass and we are discussing organizational culture for different businesses. Do stay at 1:15 p.m. after Living Word with Dr. Mensa Otabil. I am MFR Paul. Thanks for your company.
So everyone says I'm a Kosia Philip.